At the end of Genesis, we met the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who are the fathers of the nation of Israel. As Genesis concludes, their descendants migrated to the kingdom of Egypt, where they were welcomed with open arms. The book of Exodus shows us the next step in the Lord's promise to Abraham, which we saw in the book of Genesis. Remember, at that time, all the nations of earth were engaged in worshiping evil spirits, and the Lord decided to raise up a single nation that would worship and serve Him, the one true living God. The main sections of this book are the enslavement of the Israelites in Egypt, the Lord selecting a man named Moses to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, the Lord supernaturally forcing Egypt to release the Israelites, and the Lord establishing a contract with the Israelites called a covenant. Key terms and people: Moses, Pharaoh, the plagues of Egypt, the parting of the Red Sea, manna, covenant, the golden calf, the 10 commandments. Part 1: Enslavement of the Israelites in Egypt. After 400 years in Egypt, the Israelites grew into a large population that Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, feared might take over his kingdom. He created difficulties for the Israelites to keep them poor and weak. At one point, he went so far as to order the execution of all Israelite firstborn males. Part 2: The call of Moses and his confrontation with Pharaoh. Moses was a firstborn Israelite male whose mother hid from the executioner. He ended up being raised by one of Pharaoh's daughters in the Egyptian royal palace. As an adult, Moses got into trouble and had to flee for his life from Egypt. While safely away from Egypt, Moses encountered the Lord, who ordered him to return to Egypt, face Pharaoh, and make an impossible demand: that he allow the Israelites to leave Egypt. Part 3: The Lord forces Pharaoh to release the Israelites. Pharaoh refused to release the Israelites, and Moses warned him that this was a command from the one true living God. After a few more unsuccessful attempts by Moses to persuade Pharaoh to release the Israelites, the Lord stepped in, sending 10 painful plagues to Egypt, culminating in the death of all firstborn Egyptians. This even included the firstborn of their livestock. As a result of these plagues, all of Egypt begged the Israelites to leave and gave them a wealth of gifts to bring with them. As soon as the Israelites made it out of Egypt, Pharaoh tried one last act of defiance against the Lord by sending his army to bring them back. Trapped between the Red Sea and the approaching Egyptian army, things looked hopeless for the Israelites. Moses cried out to the Lord and was given the power to perform a miracle, which was to divide the Red Sea, leaving a dry path of ground on which the Israelites could escape to the other side. When the Egyptian army attempted to follow them, the sea closed in, drowning the entire army. Part 4: The Lord makes a covenant with Israel. Completely free from Egypt, the Israelites found themselves in the wilderness with no food or water. The Lord provided for them a miraculous food called manna, and caused a spring of fresh water to burst forth from a large rock, thereby providing for all of their needs. The Lord then called Moses to meet with him at the top of Mount Sinai for 40 days and 40 nights. During that time, he taught Moses all of the things he would need to know as the leader of God's personal nation. This included the Lord giving Moses his 10 commandments. The Lord explained that he was making a contract with the Israelites. So long as they worshiped and obeyed him, he would protect and bless them. However, if they failed to do their part, he would end his contract, his covenant with them, and allow them to be like all of the other cursed nations. When Moses completed his 40-day meeting with the Lord and came back down Mount Sinai, he saw that the Israelites had already created an idol, a golden calf, with which to worship an evil spirit that they used to worship in Egypt. Moses realized at once that it was going to be quite a challenge teaching the Israelites to stop acting like the other nations and become true children of the Lord. Conclusion. The book of Exodus teaches us about the enslavement of the Israelites in Egypt. The Lord selecting a man named Moses to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. The Lord supernaturally forcing Egypt to release the Israelites. And the Lord establishing a contract with the Israelites called a covenant. Looking ahead. Next, in the book of Leviticus, we will learn some of the details of what the Lord taught Moses about leading God's personal nation.